True story, true story. And all these years back, when I think about it, I know that it's because of an elder in my life. I know it's because of my great-grandmother. Her name was Margenia. And my mother, she had me young. So she was in school, and she was working, and she was a single parent. So I was at home with Margenia. So I was a 2 or 3-year-old at home, and I ended up mimicking all of her actions. I ended up acting just like Margenia. So her back would hurt, her legs would hurt, and she couldn't walk down the stairs, so she would slide down the stairs. And at 2 or 3, I was sliding down the stairs right behind her. Margenia, when she disciplined people, or she thought you were getting a little too carried away, she would be like, all right. So, of course, I was a 2-year-old running around disciplining people going, all right. But one thing I remember Margenia did was when it was time to vote, she was 70-something years old. And she would put on her hat, and she would put on her coat, and she would grab her cane. And no matter how much her legs hurt or her back hurt, she would walk to vote. And Margenia did this because she remembers the time when people risked their lives and died for the right to vote. People were shot, people were assaulted, people were hung, people were firebombed, and she knew that if she didn't vote, that everything that they had done to win that right, to make a decision federally and also locally, that they had done that in vain. So Margenia went and Margenia voted. But those tactics to stop us from exercising that right are still happening to this day. I was just reading a story about the first black legislator in Vermont, a woman, sister, and she was running for the midterms, and she has dropped out of the race. And she's dropped out of the race and is leaving her position at the end of the year because of online threats against her and her family. Violence. They want to hurt this woman because she wants to make change in the community. They want to hurt this woman because she was rallying people to vote. And she didn't have support, and she didn't have protection, and her sister is no longer in the race. But we're not surprised, right? We know these tactics are happening all over the country right now. People who have the right to vote but don't know it or think they can't vote. People who don't know where to vote because at the last minute the voting precinct has changed and they don't know. People who don't understand and have given up their right because they're tired of fighting. But that's where we all come in. I believe that we all have a part to play in what's happening right now. And some of us are like, you know what, I'm going back to Jamaica. What? Make America what? Great what? Y'all trying to turn the clocks back? Some are like, no, you know what, I'm moving to Ghana. I looked into that. I was like, I'm leaving this country. What is wrong with this country? But many of us, all of us, don't have the financial capacity to leave if we could leave. Some of us are like, no, I'm not going anywhere at all because I helped build this country. My family built this country. This is my place. This is where I have my foundation. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. And no matter if they don't like me, they have to deal with me. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Pushing back on that injustice. Pushing back on those that are trying to push us out. Brooklyn, if y'all hear me, y'all better make some noise. I hear you. So the civil rights struggle and the civil rights fight is still happening. It silence for a while and it went quiet. But there is a new generation of activists who are loud, and they are unapologetically black. They are unapologetic about working to push and move this country forward and do what's necessary for all of you, for all of us. And we all have something to play, a part to play. And when it comes to voting, particularly these midterm elections that are coming up, we all have a role. And it's not just about the role for today, it's about generations after this. So even small things like discussing what's happening in the world, discussing politics in the house, so that our children can hear that. Because you know they knows it, they're always listening. So talking about what's going on, taking them to vote, making sure that they know that they have to exercise their right if they're going to make that change. We may not be able to make a change federally, but the power happens locally. All of the things that we complain about, from too many traffic signs or the times when they come pick up the garbage or no garbage cans on the street, we know how it can be in the hood. Those are decisions that happen locally, and that's where you have the power. That's where you have the power. You can vote those in who are voted in to serve us. They serve us. And it's important for us to let that next generation know, to let our grandkids and our great-grandchildren know. So hopefully one of them will be like me on stage talking about my great-grandma, who I know is in heaven right now with her hand up going, all right. This is my contribution to the movement. This is what I do. And I also do this as a journalist. I hope you will all support me. I have a podcast called Real Black News. Real Black News breaks down the top 5 known and little known black news stories of the week, because we know we don't see it on the news. And I do this with the newsmakers from the worlds of entertainment and activism. This weekly podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, or wherever podcasts live. My name is RAQIYAH MAYS. Thank you for having me.
Would you please put your hearts together for RAQIYAH? 107.5 WBLS, yeah, she works with us. Awesome, huh? So I hope you got the gist of what she's saying, and let your spirit guide you to do the right thing always. All right.